What's up, guys? Welcome to a new stream. I hope you're doing well. And today we're gonna build the hot, innovative, call it what you want. We're gonna build the Twitter stories. Wait, I mean Twitter fleets, of course. So, yeah, experts are saying that 2021 will be the year of stories, and sooner or later, all your loved applications will have implemented stories. And I think I can bet that even your fridge will have stories in 2021. And yeah, I think that we should get ready to this new era of stories, and we should learn how to build them and be ready to implement them even in our applications. Okay, let's go real quick into what we're actually going to build today and what we will have ready by the end of this video. So yeah, first of all, we're gonna implement the fleets overview on top of a feed, and these are displaying a list of users who have posted fleets, and it will be always on top of your feed, so you can access them. And whenever we press on one fleet, we will see a display of the actual fleet, and that's going to display either an image or a text yeah. And after that, we're gonna implement this with a GraphQL API. So at the end, we will have a full stack working system for stories. And we're gonna implement the backend API using AWS Amplify. So yeah, more details on that later. And at the end, of course, we're gonna create a screen where you can actually create and post new fleets. And as well, here you will have two options: either to write some text over a background, or the second option will be to just upload the image, and that will be shared. So yeah, hello everyone from the chat. How are you doing, guys? Where are you joining today from? So quickly about me, my name is Vadim. Thank you very much for joining if you are new here. On this channel, I'm trying to do to teach React Native and AWS Amplify, basically full stack mobile development. And I'm teaching this based on building projects, because I think this is the most efficient way to learn a new technology and to master it. Yeah, because I know that a lot of my friends have been stuck in this tutorial life cycle, where they are watching tutorial and they never actually start building. And I think that this is why they never succeed. And if you actually start implementing this, messing it around yourself, building something, even if it's something simple, that's when you actually learn. And the whole process of learning becomes much more enjoyable, because you see a real result, a real product that you can share with your friends. You can create like some dummy applications and share, and you can even publish it on Google Play. Yeah, I know one of my friends just created a simple pet projects of his own, and now he's earning even some money, because it was just for learning purposes, and he's like checking in like a couple of $100s per month. So yeah, that's the cool part of it. So yeah, let's learn together by building application, and today that's gonna be Twitter fleets. Hi guys. Hi George, hi Sumed, Srinu, Alexandra, hello. Jack, hi. Manav, hello. Alexandra is saying there are a lot of tutorials on Firebase. However, your idea of being different and use AWS is much appreciated. Thank you very much, Alexandra. Yeah, that's I'm using AWS because that's what I use every day, and I really love it. And I think that it's very suitable for even for production-ready builds. So okay, guys. yeah, if you will find this enjoyable, please consider subscribing to the channel and smashing the like button to help me with the growth. Yeah, thank you very much. Let's get started. So what are we going to use for this project? For the frontend, we're gonna use React Native and Expo SDK. We are going to write everything in TypeScript, and if you didn't work with TypeScript, don't worry too much because it's the same like JavaScript with some types. However, if you are new into TypeScript, you can write JavaScript and it will compile. And we're of course going to use React navigation for navigating between stories, fleets, of course. For the backend, we're gonna use, as I said, AWS Amplify with AWS AppSync. So AWS Amplify is nothing new. It's just a set of tools that AWS already had, and they just made them much more easier to integrate with front-end applications. That's like mobile or even web applications. So in our case, for our API, behind the scenes, Amplify is using AppSync to create a GraphQL API. Yeah, don't worry, I'll talk about this a bit later when we get to it. It's really and surprisingly easy to integrate, and yeah, we'll see how we do that. So 1 second, let's go with prerequisites. So first of all, you will have to configure AWS Amplify if you don't have it already set up. And to do that, on Amplify documentation, you will see a very good documentation on how you can configure and set up Amplify. I'm not gonna follow this because it takes some time, and I already have it set up. Yeah, you have to have notjust installed, then you have to sign up for an AWS account. And here I just want to give you a note, like AWS account is free to sign up. However, you need to put in the details of your credit card. But most of the services that you will ever use, and all of the services that I'm using in this tutorial have a free tier, and that's basically like AWS is giving you a free period for the first year. They give you free use of all the services that they have, mostly all of them. Like be careful and do some research if you're doing something different than what I'm doing in these tutorials. And yeah, I've built around 5 projects on this channel, and all of them are hosted on AWS, and I haven't been charged not a single dollar so far. So that's yeah. However, if you work on your project and publish it to production, AWS is pretty cost effective. And for example, my startup is serving around 15,000 users, and our monthly costs are under $70 per month. So it's really cheap for that amount of users. Yeah, here you have even a video from Nate. Hello, Nate. And he helps you install AWS Amplify CLI. After that, you have to configure it. It will ask you to create a YAM user. You'll figure it out, I hope. If you have any troubles, guys, join the Discord channel. The link you can find down below, and ask there a question, and I will try to help you. So after you do that, let's see. After that, we need to initialize the project. And yeah, today I found out about this cool command from Amplify. And you do Amplify, you run Amplify init -app, and then you give the URL of the GitHub of a Twitter clone that we have already built in the previous videos. So if you have already built the Twitter clone from the previous videos, you have to skip this part, because this will just install that application. However, if you're new here and you don't want to go through all the setup of the Twitter and everything that we already did, and I'll show you the state of the application at the moment in a couple of minutes. So we run this command, and this command will clone the project. It will install the dependencies. It will do yarn install or npm install. Then it will set up Amplify backend and push it to the cloud. And after that, it will also run the project. So after you run this command, you Expo will run the project, and you will see this page. So from here, you can run the application either on iOS simulator or Android device. The application will work on any of the platforms, so it depends on your preference. Or if you're on Windows, you have only like the Android device or emulator option. So yeah, I'm gonna run it on iOS simulator. It's just my preference, but it works on both, because some of the users were asking me if we can run it on Android. So yes, guys, you can run it on Android. And after you run it on iOS simulator, you'll probably not see this page. You'll see the authentication page. So you need to sign up. Just provide your email address. You'll receive a code. You sign up. The process is straightforward. And after you sign up, you can go ahead and post some tweets into your application. So yeah, let's have a look at let's have a look at what how the application looks right now. So after you do all of that and sign up into the application, I think you most probably you will not have any data here, because there is no tweets in your application. So you will go ahead and say like, hey, this is the first tweet. You will tweet it, and if it doesn't appear in the list, just do close the application and open it again, and now it should work. Hey, this is the first tweet. So yeah, you will see that your tweets appear in the list. You can upload even images, as you see in the other tweets. You can like the tweets, and it will increase. It will show. Also, we have here navigation set up, and you can navigate through different screens. We didn't implement those screens because we focused only on the main part of the tweets, of posting tweets. Authentication is implemented, also the backend, and all of these tweets are not dummy data. They are coming from actual backend. And yeah, this is what we have and what we will work with. Mostly we will not touch anything that is already built. We'll just focus on Twitter fleets today. So probably you don't have to have a lot of knowledge of the current project if you didn't follow it along. You will manage to do the fleets without knowing everything. Just have a little walkthrough, understand like how the app looks, what is implemented and what not, and then we are good to go. Yeah, one more thing. If you followed along the project, that was a couple of months ago, most probably when you run the project, you will have an error. And that error is because your API key expired. So if you have that error, and if you will have it in future, follow these two steps in order to rotate the API key. So in order to delete the existing API key, we will set create API key to 0 in the parameters.json, and then do amplify push. After that's done, we set create API key to 1, in the same file and do again amplify push. First step will delete the API key. The second one will generate a new one. So the new one will be, it will be, come on, Vadim, find a word. Yeah, it will work with a new one. It will not be expired. Sorry. So you have to do that in the file Amplify, backend, API, parameters. And here you add it as a new option, and first time you add it to 0, you do amplify push. After that you come back and do 1, and again you do push, and it will generate a new key. Okay, so I hope now everyone is on the same page. People who are new to the Twitter clone and can start working on the fleets along us, and also the people who have followed the clone in the first 2 or 3 videos also are on the same page, and then we can start. Before that, let's have a look at what people are saying in the chat. Sorry, guys. Hello from India. Hello from Nigeria. Hello, Nigeria. Colombia. Hello, Novedad. Because of Spotify, George is saying because of Spotify clone, yesterday he landed a client for $800. That's so nice. Congratulations, George. I'm really happy. I'm really happy for you, and that really made my day. Like, oh, is this your first client, or did you include it into your portfolio, or how did that happen? Yeah, I'm interested into that, so please write me on Instagram or on Discord, and let's chat about that. It's pretty interesting. Hello, Sovik from India. Hello, Calm from Kenya. Make serial. Yes, serial application. Yeah, a lot of people are saying to make this application suggested, but I have never used it, so I might have a look at it and do it in future. Hi, Faizi. I like your video so much, sir. Thanks for your precious time. Lots of prayers for you. Thank you very much. Anas is asking, this project depends on the previous Twitter clone. Yeah, we are building on top of the previous Twitter clone, but you don't have to build the previous Twitter clone to follow this one, because you everything, all the code is available on GitHub. So with just one command, amplifying it up and supplying the link to the Twitter clone, you will be at the same place as where I am, and you can follow along from this point. So yeah, it doesn't depend. Okay, guys, so let's have a look. The first thing what we're gonna build is user fleet preview component, and here I'm talking about one specific user that is gonna be displayed on top of a feed. Not all of them, but one specific user. So we're gonna build a component out of that one, and we're gonna reuse it multiple times to display multiple users in that component. So yeah, for that we need to display the image and the name of a user, image name underneath, and then display the outline around the image. And here the outline is gray. We will do it with blue, because blue is the outline when you didn't see the fleet yet. So it's like active. So let's go here and let's start coding. I have my coffee. Let's drink some coffee. Stay hydrated, guys. Don't forget about that. Okay, so let's generate this component. So we create a new directory. Let me sit more comfortable. I feel it's gonna be a long stream. So fleet, how was it? User fleet preview. Yeah. For user fleet preview, we're gonna generate the index.tsx, and of course styles.ts. So for the styles, let's declare the boilerplate here. So let's import style sheet from React Native, and const styles equals style sheet create export default styles. Yeah, by the way, guys, do you know any tools that generate the boilerplate of components? Because I feel that I'm wasting a lot of time just writing over and over this boilerplate. So if I find a tool that helps me do that, it will speed up our process. So let's, in the index.tsx, let's import React from React. Let's import image, text, view, and probably that's it at the moment from React Native. React, come on, React, not like this, React. Oh, it's equal, no, equal React Native. Yeah, and now let's declare the component, and yeah, that will be our user fleet preview. So we will return, initially we will return just I don't know, a view, and inside the view a simple text, just to know that it actually displays text hello. So let's do export default user fleet preview, and we should import it somewhere in order to display, and that's gonna happen in some of our screens, and probably in the home screen. Yeah, here we display the feed, and before that we're gonna display this user fleet preview. Yeah, first of all, let's import user fleet preview from components like that, and just render it above our feed. Let's save. And yeah, I can see something there. I don't know why it's underneath the header. So okay, right now we will need to render a image and the name of a user, and this information we're gonna receive from the props. So because we are working in TypeScript, let's declare the type of our props, and this basically means like how will the props look, like what shape it will have, what types of the properties will have. So for example, let's say user fleet preview props is equal to, it will have and will display the name or the username, like the Twitter handle or the actual name. I think it's the username. So username string. Did I do it correctly? Let's check how to do. Oh, it's type, it's not interface. Yeah. Export type like that. And also, do we have a user type? User type ID, name, username, image. Yeah, we can actually use that. So our user will be a user, not user instance, just user type. And user type, we will import it from import user from types, right? Is it there? User type. Come on, Vadim. User type. User type. Yeah, so basically in the types, we already have defined how a user should look like. And it will have an ID, it will have a name, a username, and an optional image. So we just import that type into our component, and we say that our properties will contain a user, which will be of a type user. So let's say, yeah, props will be of type user fleet props, like that. And here we can destructure the the user from our props, and we can further destructure, like to take even deeper fields, for example name and image, because that's what we will need. So to do that, we yeah, destructure like this the username and the image. Come on, image. Is it just image? Yeah, it's just image. So for the text, here we can actually display right away the username. For the image, we are going to let's have a look how we display the image. For example, here in profile picture. Yeah, we have a component actually for the profile picture. So I think I will just use this component profile picture and not the image. Import profile picture. Yeah, from profile picture, and we need just to send the image and a size, which will be 50 by default if we don't say any size. So let's render the profile picture here. Profile picture. We need to send the image, which will be the image that we have here. No username, sorry for that. And for the size, let's leave it as the default value, and we'll see shortly if it works. So yeah, profile pictures, source, right image. Yeah, I think that's how it's done. And now we should go back to our, where is it? Let's have a look. The screen, home screen. And you see already here, we see a red arrow because property user is missing from the props. And this is the advantage of TypeScript, because if you're not using TypeScript, you might miss errors like this. But TypeScript will say like, hey, you forgot to add this user property. So our user property will be an object with ID, let's say 1, name, Vadim, and image. Let's have a look. I have prepared some images. Come on. Are we here? Yeah. A URL of an image. You can paste here, yeah, any URL, or you, yeah, you can probably find this in the dummy data of the application a bit later. And what else? A username, right? A name and a username as well. Username is as well Vadim. Let's save. Yeah, I see something there. I don't know why it's underneath. Hello, why is it underneath? Container flex one. Adding some padding to the top, just as a life hack. Save, yeah, something like that. I don't know why. I think that's because of a safe area or the tab bar. Yeah, I think that's a bit better. Yeah, we see our avatar there. I think it's quite small, and we can give it a bit bigger size. So here in the index, for the profile pictures, we'll send, I don't know, 70 pixels. Let's try it like this. Yeah, now I think it's a bit better. And yeah, I think it looks good. Now it just needs a bit of styling. So for this view, I will give a style.container. I will put the profile picture into another view in order to display the circle around the image. I hope that that's how it's supposed to be, but we'll see. So image, yeah, just image will be okay. And let's put the profile picture here. And lastly, some styles to the username. Now let's open up the styles and declare the styles for the container. What else we have there? The image and the username. Image and lastly username. Let's save. The error should come on. What are you? Did I messed up something in the index? Most probably yes. We will not need the image, but that's not the problem. I think we didn't import style, and it's not style but styles. Yeah, let's import the styles from this folder .styles, and yeah, right now it's much better. So for the container, yeah. Thank you, Alexandra is told me from the other part of the house styles. Thank you. So for the container, we need to align the items in the middle to have a name centered. Center. Yep. Let's work with a username first, and probably we'll need like a margin tops, something very small, like 5 pixels, like that. Font size a bit bigger, 15. Font weight bold, and the font color some gray. Font just color, yep, color I don't know, light gray. Save. Or got a comma here. Yeah, it's too light gray. I'll paste in some random color, and from here why I can't choose the color? Oh, here. So yeah, a gray like this. Save. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Okay, for the image we need to display, let's display some background color to understand if something is happening there. And the background color will be the color of the system, and the color of the system is somewhere constants, colors, and tint color. So let's just copy paste it from here. Yeah, with yeah, this is something that we are looking for. So before rounding the corners, we need to add some padding to this container, and this padding will define how thick this border will be. So let's say padding 10, probably too much. Yeah, definitely too much. 5. And border radius, I don't know, 50. Yep, like that. However, I think that blue is a lot darker. Something like that. Too dark. All right. You know what? Yeah, I think it's good. Or we need to add a white line between this blue and the image. So to accomplish that, we might do it like this. We say, how is it called? The outline, border radius, not border radius, border width. I don't know, like 3 pixels. Border color. Let's say, let's put. Will you work? Save. Yeah, and now we make this one blue and we make this one white. Yeah, and now you see this this effect. Let me try to make it a bit bigger so you could see something here. Yeah, this cool effect that there is some spacing between image and that little outline, and this looks makes the image pop. So yeah, now I'm happy with what we have in the home screen. We can even add a bit more because we don't see the whole image. Yeah, like that. So yeah, I think we are done with this particular component to display one user in the fleets preview. So let's git add, git commit user fleet preview component. And let's close everything else. And for 1 minute, see what your guys saying. So how are you guys feeling? Are you following along, or are you planning to do that after the live stream? The Coding Odyssey is asking, are you from Romania? I'm actually from Moldova. ES7, React Redux, GraphQL, React Native snippets, extensions for VS Code users. Okay, hope that is the extension that I was asking for. Oh, React Native snippets. Okay, that's something that I have to look into. Alexander, can you remind me about that? Yeah, hi guys. Hello everyone who is just joining. So to give you a little overview, today we are building Twitter fleets, and we're building this in React Native with Expo, and then we're gonna integrate it with a backend, and that will be using AWS Amplify, which will create a GraphQL API. So right now we just finished building the user story component. Now the next step will be, the next step is the user fleets preview list. And once we have one component, we can take the same component, replicate it, put it into a list, and display multiple components, multiple users in that header. Using that reusable component. So that's what we are gonna do right now. And let's start. And before that, I'm gonna grab some dummy data. I'm gonna create a file in the data called I don't know, users with fleets, because this is gonna be an array of users, and each user will also have some fleets inside. Let's add this here, and let's say export default. Export default, probably it will be an array. So let's have a look at the dummy data that Alex has prepared for us. If anyone from you guys are following along and you need this dummy data to continue, please let me know in the chat, and I'll try to give this data to you somehow. But this is gonna be available on GitHub under the data. You will find this file, users with fleets. So users with fleets is an array of users. So all of these are users. A lot of them, and each user has like ID, has image, name, username, all of that, and also has a fleet which contains an array of his fleets, and each fleet will have an ID, a type, and an image, or if a type is text, a text. But more about that a bit later. So let's not focus on the fleets. We will focus only on the array of users, because we will need to import this. And for each object that we have in this array, in this case like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for each 5 of the objects that we have here, we need to render one component that we just built. And we will send the username and also the image to that component. So without further ado, let's create a new component, because everything in React and React Native is about components. So that's gonna be let's think about a good name. Suggest me a good name. User fleets list. Bad name Vadim, but let's move on. Index tsx. Again, styles, but for styles I'm too lazy to create them. I'll just paste them here, and I'm pretty sure we will have a container there, so let me leave it there. We even might not need styles here, but we'll see. So in the index, again, let's start it from scratch, not to confuse anyone. So let's import React from React. Let's import our newly created component, which is called user fleet preview, from this folder that we just created. but yeah, let's add it a bit, yeah, down below. And from React Native, we will probably need a view and a flat list. And flat list is the component that will help us to display a list of items. In this case, a list of fleets. So let's import it from React Native. And also we need the dummy data. Import users with fleets from somewhere here, data users with fleets. So yeah, let's do const user fleets list. And it will return. Let's return initially yeah, we don't have a text. We will probably implement it right away. A view. Here, let's not forget to export default user fleet list. And inside this view, we need to display a flat list. And yeah, here our feed is as well a flat list. So you can go there and see, as an example, how we did it there. However, yeah, but I'm gonna explain like what we need to supply to the flat list in order to display yeah, a list of data. So flat list has two required properties, and first one is data. And the data is, yeah, an array of items that we need to display, like all the data, like but it should be an array. So our users with fleets, if we see here, this is an array. This is an array of users, and for each user, our flat list should know like how should I display, how should I render each user. And how should we render is a property called render item. And here we supply a function and we receive an item. And the item will be one specific user that the flat list is trying to render at the moment. So initially, the item will be this first one, and it will contain this object with all the ID name and all the information. The next time it will contain the second object, and so on. It will loop through all of the objects in our array, and it will call the render item function for each of them. So for each item, we want to render a user fleet preview component, a component that we just built. And we will send as a user this item that we receive. So like that. And that's the only two properties for a flat list in order for it to work. So let's save and let's cross our fingers and hope that it will work. Yeah, of course it will never work because we never imported the user flat list. So let's go back to our screens, home screen, and instead of importing user fleet, let's import user fleets list from user fleets list. Save. Let's render it here, and now the user fleet list doesn't need any properties because it takes them from the dummy data. So it's gonna be as simple as that. Let's save. And now we see, yeah, now we see our list of users. Of course, we see a problem. Hey, Lucas, thank you very much for the donation. Thank you. You are always here to support me. I really appreciate that. So, yeah, as I was saying, we see problem that the stories are displayed vertically. So let's go ahead and fix that. And in the index, and I forgot how was that property. Can I see them here? Let's check the documentation. I think is direction or something like that. React Native flat list. And yeah, horizontal. Just yeah, we have to just pass a property horizontal. Save. And badum. It displays something, but I don't understand what and why. Let's try to re-render it. Yeah. Where going? That's very weird. Let's have a look here. Not sure if that's... Yeah, this error is... yeah, I know about that. It's nothing critical. Why aren't you... Why do you disappear? Maybe there's somewhere... Yeah, one thing I could try is... Yeah, let's have a look at the home screen. We have our feed. So we can display our... How is it called? User fleet list inside the feed as the header of that flat list. So let's open the feed. Here we see flat list, and let's try to add a property list header component. If I'm not mistaken, let's find header. Yeah, list header component. But should be a capital L. List header component is equal to the user fleets list. And did it import it correctly? Yeah, it imported it correctly. And now let's try from our home screen to remove our user fleets list, because we render it in the feed. Let's save. And now, yeah, now it works properly. Because sometimes when you render two flat lists into the same page, because we have like the bottom flat list, which is the feed, and also the header flat list, which is the stories. Yeah, it's not very advisable to display them on the same page. However, you can display the second one as a header component of our feed. So in our feed, we display it as a list header component. And that's why when we scroll, they are remaining at the top, like with all the posts. Oh, I blocked the phone. Come on. All right, so yeah, that's how we display that. And I think one more thing we need to fix is to hide the scroll bar. And who can help me to hide the scroll bar? Because that's a very big name. Horizontal something, horizontal. Hide something like hide horizontal scroll view, scroll bars, or something like that. Horizontal. Show horizontal scroll indicator false. Save. And no, it didn't work. Yeah, I think it's something different. Show horizontal. Alex, help me. Oh, but that's in the feed. Oh, sorry, I messed it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Not in the feed, but in the user fleet list here. Yeah. Save. And now, yeah, now it disappeared, the horizontal thing. So yeah, now it's perfect. And in our home screen, we can remove the padding top because we see some margin, unwanted margin there. And yeah, that's how we want it to look. Maybe adding some margins, but it's good without that as well. So let's save, let's add, git add, git commit user fleets preview list. Implement, done. So yeah, we have our user fleets preview list. Let's have a look at what people are saying here. Do you have any experience with Firebase? Yeah, not a lot of experience. I worked with Firebase at my startup, but we are doing only like some basic analytic stuff, and everything else is done on AWS. So yeah. Someone is saying that they'll follow along after the live stream because it's very hard to code along in a live stream. Is it because my pace, like I'm going too fast, or and you want to go slower and understand everything? But yeah, I think that makes sense because I'm trying to keep the live stream quite relatively short, if you can call like 3 hours short. But yeah, that's what it is. Someone needs the dummy data. What if I just do git push? I think that would be the easiest. And you can now find it if you go to my GitHub account and Twitter clone. The link is here. I can send it in the chat. And if you go here to the data, you will see the users with fleets. So you can download it from here. I think that's the easiest way to do it. Does he ever look at the chat? Yeah, I'm looking at the chat. However, I'm trying to stay focused on what I am building at the moment, because you can imagine people afterwards are watching, so they don't like when I get disturbed and I'm all over the place. So yeah, I'm coding a feature, then we can talk, guys. You can ask questions, and then we can even have a like Q&A session. And also I will put down below timestamps of all the chapters, like all the steps that I took to build the application. And this way, for people watching after the live stream, they are not disturbed by our chat and talk here. And if you have something more into depth that I cannot take a lot of time to answer, feel free to write me on Instagram, on Discord channel. You can find the link down below, and I'll try to help you guys. So yeah, please understand me. Yeah, thank you once again, Lucas, for the donation. That really helps me. Yeah, thank you for people suggesting show horizontal scroll indicator. Fix that. Uh, need the users with fleet data. Yeah, I just uploaded it to the GitHub, so feel free to download it. Firebase is expensive. I'm not sure about the prices of Firebase, and a lot of time it really depends on how you're using them. So even in AWS, if you're using it properly, all the services, you can have like really cheap like cost. But if you're going over the head, like, and have like, I don't know, like GPU instances, then your price will skyrocket. So yeah, keep this amazing job up, brother. Thank you very much, Dwayne. Yes, but to follow up with real time, we need the dummy data at least. Vadim can push the code, we will have it. Yeah, I'm planning for the next live streams. I'm planning to have a bundle, like a file with everything that you will need during the live stream, and that will be like the dummy data, the images, fonts, icons, and so on. So I'll try to provide this at the beginning of each stream. So okay, guys, let's move on, and we'll talk when we finish the next feature. And the next feature for us is, okay, this is starting to get interesting, and this is the fleet screen. And whenever we press one of the fleets here in the preview, we need to open the fleet screen and to display the actual fleets. Yeah, for the text fleets, we will display a background color, as you see here on the left, and then we will render the text. Yeah, let me. Why do I have a fly in December? Go ahead, go away, please. So, all right, go away. Yeah, let's close everything to have it clean. All right, that will be, in this case, I think a screen, because yeah, it's gonna be a navigation screen, and we will call it fleet screen. Come on. Fleet screen.tsx. So let's real quick import everything we will need. Const fleet screen will be a very simple component at the beginning, and we will return just let's return just some dummy text. Hello there. Let's export default the fleet screen to be able to import in our navigation and actually navigate here. And also let's import the text, because we forgot to do that, from React Native. From React Native. All right, so now we need to define a navigation screen for this fleet screen, and that we're gonna do in navigation. and not in the bottom tab navigator because we don't want to show it here. However, we will do it in the index. And in the index, we will display it here. Let's first of all import it. And I'm just gonna duplicate the previous line because I'm too lazy, and change the name fleet screen and fleet screen. The same I'll do here. I'll duplicate the new tweet line, and for the name I will say fleet, and for the component fleet screen. Yeah, it says that type fleet is not assignable to a type root. This fleet, because we defined all the possible screen names in order not to have like yeah, to mistype something or errors. So we just need to add this name fleet in the types, bottom, not bottom, but root stack, and here we will define it as, yeah, undefined. This is just to say like what possible values can the root stack param list contain. So let's save, and now, yeah, our red arrow is gone. Okay, we have our fleet screen there. Now we need to somehow navigate there. And where do we want to navigate? We want to navigate whenever we press on one of the fleets here. So let's go into the components, user fleet preview, and here we need to replace this view with a touchable component, and we will assign a onPress function that is gonna be called whenever we press on the user fleet preview component here. Well, I think we need to add some margins between them because they are too close to each other, so I didn't see that. So for the container, let's simply add some margin 5, 10, something like that. Save. Now, yeah, now it's much better. All right, so now, whereas in the index, let's import touchable without feedback, and we're gonna replace the root view with a touchable without feedback in order to expects only one children. All right, so no, we change the strategy. We wrap our view inside this touchable. Let's save. Yep. And we have to assign a onPress. onPress. So let's define this function above, const onPress. And here we need to say like navigate to fleet screen. But before that, let's just do a console warn to be sure that this this function is called. So yeah, I'm doing that all the time. Like whenever I have an event listener, first thing I'm doing is just do some console warn to be sure that that function is called, because a lot of time, yeah, you have some errors and you think that it's in actual logic, but the only thing is that you are not assigning the function correctly, or you forgot something. So in this case, we are pretty sure that it's implemented correctly, and this function is called whenever we press on a component, and we see here fleet. So now we need to, instead of console logging, we need to navigate. To do that, we need the navigation object. So for that, we're gonna import a hook called use navigation, and this is from React Navigation navigation slash native. So yeah, let's save. And using this hook, we can have access to our navigation just by doing that. Use navigation. Yeah, a simple function that gives us access to the navigation, and it's so powerful because previously you had to pass this navigation through props before hooks were introduced. So now, yeah, it's much easier. So in the on-press, we say navigation dot navigate where to the name to the name of a screen that we define here. So in our case, it's fleet. So let's go to the fleet, and we need to also send some properties in order to know like on which user we pressed. So that is gonna be user ID, user.id, right? Or let's just destructure it from here and paste like this, ID. Yep, hopefully that's, yep. And now let's try to press on one of these components. Let's press, and we see that we are redirected to our fleet screen. And yeah, in the top corner we see something there like hello. Maybe you cannot see it, but yeah, it's there. So we know that we are redirected, and when we go back, we are here. So the navigation and the basic component is done. Now we need to actually render something there. So all right, so let's open our screen. Where is it? Fleet screen. And I think that we are going to add it into a directory because we will need some styles here. Screen, and let's add it in the directory. And we can even refactor and rename it to index to keep it consistent with all our components. Yeah, like index and styles. And yeah, let's do the styles as well. And styles currently is just empty boilerplate. All right, so yeah, the first thing is to display a background color and then render the text content. However, we need to, why this name change during refactor? Fleet screen. All right, so again, we need to import the dummy data about the fleets. So let's do const import users with fleets from data users with fleets. So we're gonna use this data to actually render our fleets. And yeah, a little bit later we're gonna need also to display, like, to know which fleet of a user we actually want to display. But right now let's just display the first one. So I'm thinking if we should put the actual rendering of everything in a separate component, and here in the fleet screen only to manage the IDs and all the hard logic. And yeah, I don't see why I wouldn't do that. So hey, Priyank, thank you very much for the donation. I really appreciate that. So yeah, let's get back and let's create a new component. I think that's gonna keep our code cleaner. So let's say fleet fleet display or fleet view. I will copy paste this to styles and index, not to waste time creating them. Fleet view. Rename it to actual fleet view. And here we will in the fleet view, we need to receive data about the user and also the data about the fleet. So we will have export type fleet view, which will contain a user, and this is a user type that we will import from our types. Import user type from, like that. No, types, come on, where are you? We are here, components. Yeah, I think it's just like that. Types, yeah. User type. Yeah, I forgot to add the curly braces. And also data about the fleet, which will be a fleet type, which we don't yet have. So let's import it and then go ahead and define how will a fleet look like, what the data will a fleet contain. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna answer all your questions in the chat after I finish this feature. So let's now go in the types, and the same way as we define a tweet type, we will define a type for a fleet type, and it will contain an ID, which will be string. It will contain created at, which will be a timestamp or a date in a string format to know when was this fleet published. It will also contain probably a user type. It will contain we will have two types of fleet. A text fleet, which will be just a simple text that you write and you render on the screen, and also a image fleet, which will contain a URL to an image, and we will display that image. So later on, you can also declare a video fleet, which will render a video, and so on. And this type of a fleet will be a string, and will just save like a text type or image type. So in order to know like what data we should expect there. And if it's a string type, if it's a text type, we will have the actual text that fleet contains, and that is again a string. And the text will be optional, because if it's an image type, there will be no text. And the same way for the image, let me just have a look at the dummy data to be sure that I'm doing it correctly. Users with fleets, and the fleets yeah, has a type image, and it has an image, and if its type is text, it has text. So image again will be optional, and it will be a string. So for now, I think we are good to go with this type. and later on we can edit it. So let's close the types. Our fleet type has been imported correctly. And why I have it with capital? Yeah, like this fleet. And yeah, let's go further and declare props that will be of fleet view props. Fleet view props. And we will destructure the user out of it, and we will destructure the fleet out of it. So let's all right, from props, of course. Yep. All right, so first of all, let's put everything inside a view, and we will add some background color to that view to make it look nice. So let's put it into a view, and then in the middle there will be the text of a fleet. And initially, let's try to just render a text type fleet, and then we will do the checks if to render a text or an image. So here we'll display fleet.text. The view will have styles.container. The text will have styles.text. And yeah, something like that. Let's import our styles, because we didn't import them yet. Import styles from styles. Save. Fleet view, where are you? Styles. Here. Let's open a fleet view. And here, however, wait a second. Are we importing fleet view somewhere in our fleet screen? No, we are not. So let's finish defining the structure in order to render something. So in our fleet screen, we are going to import fleet view from component components fleet view. So instead of this, we are gonna display the fleet view, and it needs a user, right? Fleet view components fleet view. It needs a user and a fleet. User and a fleet. So where are we getting these values from? We will get them from users with fleet, from the dummy data. And const user, let's say it will be the first one. And later on we will do some logic out of it, like not just taking the first one, but the actual user that you pressed on. But initially that will be enough. So user with fleets, again, 0.fleets, and we will take the first fleet. Yep. So let's send here fleet. Let's send here user. Fleet view, are you okay? JSX element fleet view has no corresponding closing tag. Yeah, because we should close it here. Let's save and define is not an object fleet.text. Fleets. Our data. Fleets. Oh, because the first one is an image. So let's display the second one. That's a text. Fleets. Where is it? The screen. One. Now. Undefined is not an object. Fleet.text. Fleet. I think this this one doesn't take it correctly. I think that if we just console dot log fleet and then console log the actual a string to see it better there. Let's save. Let's open a fleet and let's open our debugger here, fleet, and then nothing. Dot text. What's happening? Undefined. We see undefined. Maybe it's not called fleets. Data. Oh, fleets dot items. Yeah, we kept this dummy data because that's how our backend will respond us with. So yeah, let's just change it to fleets dot items. And yeah, here fleets dot items at position 1. Yeah, right now it should work. Save. Go here. And fleet view. Hello there. Is it from our dummy data? It displays hello there. Yeah, I think it's from our dummy data. Yeah, hi there. So, okay, it displays correctly. Now let's just style it. Let's just give it some styles to display it properly in the middle. Okay. That's in our fleet view, styles, and we have a container and a text. So for the container, let's align items center to display the text in the middle, and justify content as well. Justify content center. Come on. Where is our text? Hello. Flex 1. Yep. Right now the text is in the middle. Let's declare some background color. I don't know, some dark color, not black, but something like dark gray. Or we have something like blue, I don't remember. You can play around with this color and even render gradient, but I'm gonna go with a simple color like this. When I find the proper one. Yeah, let's go with that. And yeah, that's good. And now let's define the styles for the text. And the styles for the text will be, first of all, it will need a color which will be close to white, probably a grayish. Font size, I don't know, 30, something like that. Then font weight bold. What else? Okay, now it displays okay. You can even adjust the font if you want to have a different font and a better one. But let's go ahead and try to have a long text and see how it displays, because I feel it will not display very well. Yeah, let's just copy and paste this text a couple of times. Save. No, it actually displays very well. I can just add just a bit of paddings to the container, like padding, I don't know, 30, 20. Save. And should we text align center. Yeah, let's go with something like this. It looks much better. So this is in case our tweet is a text tweet, and let's think about how we will render image fleet, not tweet, sorry. So in case yeah, this is the second fleet, and let's try to render the first one. So let's go into our fleet screen index and take the fleet at position 0, save, and it should not work. And then in the fleet.index, let's just let's import the image component. I'm thinking if we should use image or image background. We'll try with image. If we don't manage to do that with image, we will do it with image background. The source will be URI fleet.image, and the styles.image. So let's go ahead and define some styles for this image. So first of all, width, we need 100%. 100%. Height as well. Or will the height be automatically? No. Height 100%. Save. Nothing is happening yet. No, it's happening. So yeah, we see something. However, we see the padding of a container. So the image doesn't look very well here. And the padding for the container, can we add it as margin to the text? So we take it from there, we put it here, but we change it to margin, or yeah, margin. So let's save. Yeah, the image now looks much better. One more property we will define. How is that property called? To cover. The value is cover. Vadim is blanking. React Native image cover resize mode, of course. Resize mode is cover, in order to cover the whole view that it contains. All right, so one more thing is that we need to render this image only when the type of the fleet is image, or we can even say like display the image when the image is not null. So to render conditionally, we will do as following. So we'll say like fleet.image. So if fleet.image, then we will display the image. So we leverage the AND operator in JavaScript, and it works because the second part of the AND will execute only if the first one is true. So if this is true, or a true full value like a string, which is not empty, then it will execute this one and it will display. However, if image is undefined, then it will not display anything and it will not give us any errors. So let's save. Now it works. However, if we go into the fleet screen and put the in item 1, which is a text, now it displays the text and nothing is broken. So yeah, that's the fleet screen. And yeah, that's the fleet screen finished, and we'll come on, we will continue with rendering the top part of the fleet screen where we will display the user. But before that, let's take a 1 minute break and do git commit. Git add fleet screen. And let's see what people are saying. I see new faces here. Hello, Daniel. All right. Let's see. Hi man, what do you think about using PHP as backend with React Native? Well, I would say like in the beginning, go with the technologies that you know. If you have like a project, and later on you can learn something else. But if you don't know neither PHP nor, I don't know, notjust or Amplify or other technologies, and you just want to learn, I would definitely suggest going with notjust, because it will integrate better and you'll code like in JavaScript in both front end and back end. So yeah. Sai, thank you very much for the support. Use SQL for the backend. Interesting question. Yeah, SQL is is not a for actual backend, but yeah, I don't think I will use SQL for the database, like MySQL or anything like that. I don't know. There are better solutions for what I'm doing currently with a project. I want to follow this tutorial, but I came to support you. Thank you very much again, Priyank. Hey Vadim, would you do a simple recipe app where it uses filter method to fill recipe and show corresponding response, please? Indian, Chinese, American, Polish. When click on Indian, it will show Indian recipe like recipe 1, recipe 2. Yeah, that's a good idea. If you can find some actual application doing that, for example, Uber Eats, I don't know if that's something similar of what you mean. Probably it's a bit different, but yeah, if you can find something that I can use the designs because I don't like to start designing, then it will be easier. Vadim streams are the best on YouTube. Disagree? Then who is better? Thank you very much, Daniel. Yeah, someone was helping me with user fleets items. Thank you very much. Good luck on your journey. Thank you very much, Joshua. Okay. So yeah, thank you very much, guys, for the support and for all the messages. All right, let's get going and see what we have next. So next we have displaying the user info on top of our fleet story. So let's start doing that. Okay, we will close everything. Everything should be clean. Please. Fleet view, index. Okay, here. Should I make it a separate component or inside this one? Let's start inside this one because I feel that I already have a lot of components and you might get confused, but at least everything is clean and all the components are like, I don't know, like maximum 50 lines of code, and you can easily navigate and change and understand like what every component is doing. So I suggest doing that as well in your real life projects, because it will save you a lot of time in future. Okay, we need to display their image, name, username, and the time when the fleet was published. All right, that's gonna be in a view. We will give some styles. User header, yeah, user header container. And here we will have, first of all, a profile picture, that component that we already have. We defined it. So let's go ahead and import it. So import profile picture from there, and we define it here. Profile picture. Image will be user.image, and the size, we'll see if we need to change it. Yeah, after that we need to put this the other part inside a separate container, because it changes the direction. So yeah, these two views are displayed in the same line, and then the name and the username is displayed in separate lines. So we will put them into a separate view with styles, user names, and display view, not view, but text style user name. Do we have the same style? No, one is bold. Okay, just name, and the text will be user dot name. Let's duplicate this line and declare the styles username and user.username for the second line. And I think that yeah, we need also to display like 10 seconds ago, and yeah, but the time that the fleet was published at. So in order to display that, we will use Moment. Moment is a library that helps us render times, but initially let's do hard-coded text. I don't know, like 2 days ago, and we should come back and change this to actual values. All right, so let's go ahead and define these styles. So if we save, we see something here. All right. So user header container. Let's work with this one. User names. Then name and username. And username. So first of all, let's give some colors to this text, because they are black and you cannot see them. Color FFF. Something like that. And the same one to this one. Save. Yeah, we see them there. Okay, all right. Now, to put them in the same line, for the user header container, we will say flex direction, not column but row. Save. Now we're on the same line, and we will also say justify content, space between, to move them around. No, why space between? No, flex start, because we need them at the beginning. Flex start. Why is that happening? Background color, I think I understand. Red. Yeah, it's only this one. And if we do flex 1, it's, oh no, oh no, oh no, with 100%. Yep, like that. So let's delete the background color here. And let's adjust a bit the size of a profile picture. Size will be 70. Or you think it's too much? Oh, I think it's good. And now we need to position the names in the middle. Usernames. Is it in the usernames or here? Align item center. Yep. And for the name, let's font size, I don't know, 18. Yeah, I think that's good. And font weight, bold. Yeah, to make that pop. The font size of a username will be probably also 18, but the font weight is not bold. And yeah, let's add just some margin vertical, 5 pixels, to have some spacing between the names. Yeah, that looks a bit better. We need the add here, and we will need some spacing between these 2 days and the other one. So can I add the text inside the text? What do you think? Yeah, I think I can. And styles dot time. We will add some margin to the left in order to have some spacing between the username and the time. So margin left 20. No, I think I need to, or padding. Will padding save ourselves? All right, so we will need to put them like that. Move back to margin. Give color, give font. Yeah, a lot of repeated stuff. And we need to put them into a view to make them into the same line. That's a lot of code for. And this style, I'll just add it here. Justify flex direction. Flex direction will be a row. Save. Yep. And probably 20 is too much. 10. much better. Yeah, the only thing left is to somehow display it at the top. So for the user header container, user header, align self flex start. Will that work? Probably not. Okay, let's think. Or user header container to display it as position absolute. What do you think? And just put it at the top, not to mess around with other content. That might work. This position absolute top 0 and yeah, left is okay. So yeah, probably not even 0, but like 50 pixels from the top. Yeah, and the thing that the header container is absolute, it will not mess around with our actual content that we want to display. So for the user header container, let's also add some padding to have some space between the image left, and that will be 10 pixels, like that. Yeah, that's actually good. And yeah, I think let's just try to display an image fleet and see if it actually works as well. Good. So save. No, it doesn't. But why? Because the image is displayed on top of it. If we displayed it, if we render after the image, so to render the image, yeah, but the text should be, no, the text can also be there. Yeah, if we displayed it after the image, it will be displayed on top, and we can actually see it because previously it was underneath. So if we set 1, it's back to normal. Yeah. And maybe some spacing between the image and the text we need there. So for the image, let's add some margin right, 10. No, not for this image, but for the, no, actually for the usernames, and that would be reverse, margin left, 10. Good. Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this one, and we can yeah, we can add and commit it and move forward. Git add, git commit -m fleet header. Oh, one more thing, we forgot to display the days dynamically from the fleet itself. So we can have a look at our tweet component in, I don't know, somewhere, finding path moment. So yeah, that's how we were displaying it. Yeah, simply moment, we give it the created at of the object that we need to display, and then we call from now. So in this case, it will be moment. We give fleet dot created at dot from now, and we also need to import moment from moment, like that. Save. Yeah, and now it says a few seconds ago, and that's the image fleet. And if I go to our data, users with fleets, yeah, the fleets right now doesn't have created that, but yeah, later on, yeah, I think we can just copy one created that from here and add it to the image fleet and set it to, yeah, I think it's good, save 3 months ago. And if we put the month 10, it's 2 months ago, and so on. So I think you get the idea. 23 days ago, and so on. So now the time is as well displayed dynamically. Git commit display created at dynamically. Save. All right, guys, how are you doing? I am a big fan. Thank you very much. Please add a blue tick for a special person for movie star. Yeah, I think that's not that hard to implement, but yeah, let's try to focus on the most challenging parts, like to display. Now we will get into navigating between fleets, and that's a bit more challenging than this blue tick button. You can either display it as an image or style it with some background color and an icon, and that's it. How are you doing, guys? How do you feel? Are you still following along? Need to drink some water. So let's see. Yeah, the next part will be quite interesting. All right. So let's go. The next step will be the fleet screen navigation, and we want to go to the next fleet whenever we press on the right side of the screen, go to the previous screen whenever we press on the left side of the screen. Whenever we reach the last fleet of a user, we need to go to the next user's fleets. So yeah, that is our steps that we need to implement. And let's try to implement them here. Let's again close everything. And now most of our work will happen in our fleet screen. So yeah, first thing that we need to implement is, for example, whenever I press on Vadim, it displays the fleet of myself. However, if I displayed it for the second user, it again displays the fleets of the first user. So let's go ahead and try to display the fleet of a user that we actually press on. And to do that, we will take that data of the user, like the user ID, from the parameters, because we already sent that. And I'm gonna show you where we send that is in user fleet preview index. And when we navigate to the fleet screen, we send additional data, which is user ID. So we need to take that data in our screen here and find the user with that ID. So for that, we will import a hook called use route, because that data is contained in the route of this screen. from React Navigation Native. So let's say const a route equal to use route. Okay, we have a route, and now user, we will do a filter, and we will try to find, no, let's first of all take the const user ID is equal to, or should we, yep, I'm thinking if we should save this in state. Yeah, yep. Let's save a user ID. No, let's go along with like this, and later we'll see if we need that in state. So user ID, we will take it from route dot params, and because it's also called user ID, we can actually destructure it. And let's go ahead and just console log it in order to be sure that we are actually receiving something. Console warn user ID. Save. What's that? Does not exist on. Okay. Let's go here. It's 1. All right. That's good. We receive something. If we go there, it's free. So no, this one. So const user is not the first one, but is dot filter. And how we're gonna filter based on ID. So if IDs are equal to the user ID, that's the user that we need. So here again, we're gonna take from this user, but we need to make sure that it exists. So let's add question mark, not to have undefined errors. So let's go here, Lucas, undefined error, fleet.image. So let's console log the user to make sure that we actually, oh, not filter, but find, because filter will return an array, but find will return the first item that it finds. So Lucas, we see Lucas story. If we go back, Alexa, we see Alexa story, and yeah, that's actually cool. I'm from Kaliningrad. Daniil, are you from Kaliningrad? And Lucas probably has an image that doesn't is downloading and is not shown yet. So yeah, now we implemented that thing. So all right, think Vadim. So we need to register clicks on left and right side of a screen in order to move to the next story and to move back. So to do that, we're gonna send these functions from our flat screen, because all the logic will happen here, and we're gonna pass them down to our flat view in order for the flat view to just call this function, and we're gonna handle all the logic here. So let's do const next story or next fleet. Go to next fleet, and this will. All right, guys. So this will initially just console warn next, and the same thing. Go to previous fleet. Go to prev fleet. So let's just pass them down to the view. Go to next fleet and go to previous fleet. We called it prev fleet. I mistyped them, yeah. So yeah, we implement all the logic inside here. Currently it's just console warning, and we send this information to the fleet view. So let's go in our fleet view index here, and we're gonna receive them as function here. So let's say go to next fleet will be a function. How do you define the type of a function? Probably like that. And go to previous fleet is as well a function. So let's take them from props, and we're gonna call them whenever we press on one side or the other. It's interesting how we will implement that, handling these clicks on one side or the other. So it's either we display it with a position absolute on top of everything. All right, so I guess that we will display them something here like a view. Inside the view we will have two touchable without feedback, touchable without feedback. On press we will call the go to prev fleet. And for the second one, let's just import that from React Native. On press, come on, what's happening? Is equal to do the same for the go to next fleet. And let's add some background colors to understand if they're positioned correctly, because we need one of them to be on the half screen and the other one to be on the second half of the screen. So styles background color will be red. Let's save. Only expect to receive single React Native element. That's for the without feedback, but what about opacity? Are you also expecting something? Save. This one is doesn't expect. And for the second one, let's add it with blue color. With blue, save. We need some styles for the view. I don't know, with 100% position absolute, and I don't know, background color here as well. Background, when something is messed up with rendering, just do background color green. Save. Top 0. Where are you? Height, width, maybe also height as well. Height 100%. Save. Okay, everything is there. So let's just delete the background green and see if we, no, we don't have. Let's add again this width and height, save, and this one, save. The width should be 50%. Or should I just, let me think. If I say for both of them, flex 1, will you work? Flex 1. And if we do justify flex direction row, now we are talking, right? So let's put all the styles of this container. Let's take it from here. Yeah, and when we press, we see next. When we press, we see again next. Why next? Oh, that's what we are displaying. Prev. Press, previous, next. Yeah, they are working okay. So let's remove this red and blue. Let's save. And let's now see, if we press, we see next. If we press, we see previous. Pretty good. Pretty good. We just need to take out these styles and put them into button container. Button container into the styles. Just to keep our component clear, button container, and we paste in all the styles. We do some formatting, and we are good to go. Next, previous. All right, so with this implemented, now we can implement the logic of switching between fleets. So let's go into the index, and here, and here, and here. Now we will probably thank you very much, Adarsh. So right now let's put the user and the fleet inside state, because we will have to change them. And if we change them right now, nothing will happen, because the component will not re-render it. So in order to re-render on changes, we need to add it to state. So let's just import use state from React, use state, and we will add it here, const user set user is equal to use state, and initially it will be probably null, but the types of it will be null or user type that we can import. The same thing with a fleet. We save it in state, fleet, set fleet, and fleet type. Again, let's import it. Okay, let's move this here to keep it same. And yeah, I think initially for the user, we can just put user fleet find and so on, right? Just to move them above. Oh, user ID, property user does not, yeah, it exists, I know it exists. Argument of type string. Yeah, right now the issue is that in our dummy data I'm not having all the necessary fields of a user, so that's what it says, but I think it will work and we will not have any errors. So okay, like that. And for the fleet, let's again say user. Yeah, this might not work, but let's see. Save. Let's go back. Let's open someone else's story. Yeah, it works. All right. So one more thing, we need to keep track of the fleet index. So let's say that a user has like 10 fleets. So we need to keep track of the index of which fleet we currently are displaying. So it will be initially 0, so we know how to get it. Then we will increase it and it will go to 1. So for that, let's also have a const fleet index, set fleet index equal to use state. Initially the fleet index will be at position 0, and we need that in order to display yeah, we will put it right here to take the fleet index from the items that we have in state. So when we go to the next fleet, we will increase the fleet index. We will set fleet index. I'm just gonna copy, I'm too tired to type. And we're gonna just increase it, fleet index plus 1. And this will just increase the fleet index, and it will not change the actual fleet that we're displaying. So to do that, we need to register an effect. So whenever our fleet index changes, we will change the fleet itself. So let's define a use effect a bit, yeah, somewhere here, use effect. And as dependencies, we will put the filter index. And this use effect will be called only when the dependency, when filter index will change. So we can say that fleet is equal to, but not fleet is equal, but set fleet, sorry guys, set fleet to the fleet with updated index. So let's save. And let's see which user has more fleets. Everyone has 1 and only the first user has 2. So let's go to the first user and let's try to press on the next. We see a different story from this user. However, if we press one more time, it's gonna be undefined because there are only 2 fleets, but we are trying to access the third one. So in that situation, we will need to actually go to the next user. But before that, let's let's continue with this one to go to the next user. So we need to go to the next user. How are we doing that? We need to find in our array of users the current user and his ID, like the index. So what are you doing here? Yeah, let's go here. Fleet index. So let's check if the fleet index is equal to the length of the items, length if it's equal to the length of items, then we will need to move to the next user and to say that the fleet index will be 0, because we need to see the first story of the next user. So lastly, we will say set fleet index to 0. But before that, we need to go to the next user. And the other one is in else. Go to the next user. So I need to find the index of a current user. So or I just need to do a for loop. That's let's do simply for I don't remember when was the last time I did for traditional for loops. For let I equals 0, I less than user fleets items dot length I plus plus, and if what? No, we need to loop through users, not through fleets. We need to loop through users. User length not user, but users with fleet. Vadim is a bit tired, but come on. So if users with fleet at position I dot id is equal to our current user id dot id, then we found our current user and we just need to take the next one. So let's let next user id let next user index, it will be easier, is equal to -1 initially, and we will say next user index is equal to I plus 1, because we found the current one and we need the next one. And we can break out of this loop because we don't need to find another one. And here, if users with fleets dot length is more if more than next user index, only then, because if we have actually other users to go to, then we need to set it, not to again have set user to users with fleets next user index, right? And this one again here. Save. Let's just hope that it works. Next is my story, and when I press next, I should go to the next user story. And if I is not an object, evaluating fleet.image. Where and what happened, because I'm doing a lot of things. So let's console warn the warn next user index, because that's where the errors might happen. Let's go here, next one, and if I is not an object, if fleet.index is equal to fleet, not items, but items dot length save. Let's go. Let's go. Lucas, next one. Press Daniel, next one. You see? Alex, next one. And I think, yeah, Elon Musk tweeted something. Of course, I still love you. Yeah, that's the name of the pod of from. And if we press again, it doesn't. Okay, what happened there? Okay. Let's say if it's more or equal. If it's more or equal. And now let's go to Alex, press Elon Musk, and if we press, nothing happens. Because we are at the end of all the stories. So now let's do the same for the to going back. So when we want to go back, we will do -1, fleet index -1, and we will need to have an if statement to check if fleet index is less than 0. If we go to -1, then we actually need to go to the previous user. We need to go to the previous user. Okay. I think we can simplify a lot with a user index. And the same way as we have fleet index to have a user index. But I'm not sure about that. Yeah, let's just yeah, copy this one a bit on the top. Next user index. And change it from not next user index, but just user index, because we will need it to go both in front and backwards. So user index will be just I. So if fleet is more than length, yeah, let's check user index user +1, because right now we need to do this here +1, and we can put this if statement here and go to the next user. Yeah, and we will do the same if statement to check to check if fleet index is less than 0, which means that if fleet index is less than 0, if fleet index, that basically means that we are we need to go to the previous user, and also if user index is more than 0, in order to be sure that we have still users to go previously, because if it's the first user, we don't need to do anything, because it will we don't have anywhere to go previously. So then we go to the previous user -1, right? Yeah, interesting logic here. Vadim, next previous working. If we go to the next user, it goes correctly. If we go to previously, yeah, it goes but when we go back, we don't want to go back to the first, to that user's first fleet, but we want to go to that user's last fleet, if we get what I mean. So I'm gonna say set user, not 0, but fleets.items.length -1. Yep, exactly. User fleet items length -1. Let's check. Because when I go back from the next one, I should come here. Let's go to Lucas, come back. Yeah, I come here. That's correct. Yeah, it works. The navigation undefined is not an object. Nice. Else if fleet index else. All right. I think I understand what happened. That's because we took out that if statement. And in order not to, not to do a lot of checks underneath, I think it will be better to do the check here. If go to the next user, set fleet index, and yeah, like that. And with the user index as well, we put it into the if statement inside. Okay, go to the previous user and let's have a look. Next. Works. Previous. Yeah, it works. All right, so yeah, the only thing that I think it goes there. If fleet index, yeah, else set fleet index to 0. Yep, and there else set fleet index to not to go very far away, like to keep it there. Dot length, yeah, like that. And right now if we press, and I press a lot of times, and yeah, it works. I press a lot of time back, when I go in front I see it there. All right, that was quite a journey. All right, guys, let's I think we can commit git add git commit -m stories navigation, and we are done with stories navigation. Yeah, that was a bit challenging, but we managed to do it. How do you guys feel? How are you doing? Are you following along? I was too focused on the work, like trying to manage everything, and maybe I lost a bit of energy. But I think we are good. So I think we are gonna skip for now automatic navigation based on progress, and I'm gonna better show you how to integrate the backend, because this stream is taking a lot of time. So the next one will be, yeah, we can do that. We can do that to display from the backend. All right, how are you doing, guys? Someone is asking, Niklas, when did you start learning JavaScript? When did I start learning JavaScript? I think, let me remember. Well, I use JavaScript at my previous startups that I tried when I was like, I don't know, 16, like 5 years ago or even more. But I started using more often JavaScript when I started working at my current startup, because we started working with React Native, with Node.js, and yeah, all the JS technologies, and that was, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. I'm very bad with like dates and years and stuff like that, and um, hats off for you, buddy. Thank you very much, Adarsh. May you suggest how to start with animation in React Native for beginner, in case you would like to share your path for same. For animation, check out. I will share with you some good channels on YouTube that are doing that are focused only on that. Sorry, buddy, need to go. Thank you very much for joining, and I will see you later. Don't forget to join the Discord channel, and let's continue with discussion there. Hats off to your dedication. Thank you very much for appreciating. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Love from India. Yes, best session till date. Oh, thank you for appreciating. Yeah, it's a bit more challenging, but I'm having fun. Love you, bro. Thank you. Love you. All right, guys. So now let's go with GraphQL API. So until now, everything we had was done with dummy data, and now we want to actually integrate the backend. So all our fleets will come from the database, and we're gonna use AWS Amplify to create this this backend for our fleet. Yeah, our backend is already created because we display tweets and we display user. We have users there, and yeah, we're not gonna go through setting up everything because it's already set up. You can go back to previous videos of Twitter clone to check out how we did that. But here we'll just gonna implement the fleet model to our GraphQL schema. And if you're not familiar with GraphQL, yeah, the schema is a place where we define how our data model will look like, what data fields will have, and with what other models it will have connections. Yeah, after that, we will push the changes to the cloud. We'll create some fleets directly in AWS console. I'm gonna show you how to do that. And I'm gonna fetch the fleets dynamically from the API. Yeah, before that, someone is asking me to push the changes to GitHub till now, so we can easily do that. Here you go, brother, and we can start implementing the fleet schema in our API. So let's close everything, and everything about our backend is inside our Amplify folder. Open it up, and here you'll see backend. In the backend, there is the API, and here we see the schema.graphql. So let's quickly have a look at what we currently have. We have a user model which contains his username, email, image, and a list of tweets. And when we will think about fleets are from our database model perspective, are very similar to the tweets. They're posted by a user, they have some content there, they have an image, they're very similar. So whenever we see tweets, we will think how we should change it to fleets. Basically, that's how I always learned. I saw an example, I was thinking like, that's similar to this one. Let's just copy, paste, adjust it what we need, and then see how it goes. So in this situation, when you see tweets, think about how we will adjust it for fleets. Fleets are stories. So here is a tweet model. It has also content, it has image, it has a user ID. It has a relationship with a user because it is posted by a user, and it also has likes. Yeah, for likes, we don't need to get into that. So what we need to do, let's just copy the tweet type and adjust it to our fleet type. Very original name. So our fleet will be a model. It will have a key by user, and the fields will be user ID, the same as for a tweet. Again, it will have ID. For content, I think we named it text. Let's open our... Yeah, I remember what we have there. So first of all, we have a type, which will be a string. And this type will be either, or we can even have it as a num, you know? But let's keep it as string to keep it simple. Then if the type is text, we will have a text, and it's not required, it's optional. We will have an image if type is image, again, it's not required. User ID will have a relationship with a user to know which user posted this fleet. That's the same for a fleet. A user connection, user ID, and likes we can delete. Now, in the user model, the same way as we connect a user with a list of his tweets, the same way we will do with a user with a list of his, guess what? Of course, fleets. So yeah, the fleets will be an array of fleets, and it's gonna use the connection by user from the fleet, and it will check it based on user ID from a fleet and ID from a user. So that's how we'll receive user fleets. And if I'm not mistaken, that's everything we need. Let me just quickly check the dummy data if we have anything else there. ID, type, created that and updated that. These are managed automatically and created by Amplify, so we don't need to do that. Image, yeah, I think that's it. So let's go ahead and publish these changes to Amplify. And we'll do that with Amplify push me. And now we will have to wait 1 to 3 minutes until Amplify pushes all our changes for our database into the cloud. And let's go here. Yes. And yeah, this may take a couple of minutes. And we're gonna wait until all the changes are created in the cloud. And behind the scenes, you don't have to know that, but it helps if you know how it works behind the scenes. Each model type, each type that you annotate with a model keyword will represent the top level model, and Amplify will take this model and will turn it into a database table. And Amplify behind the scenes is using DynamoDB. This is the AWS key-based database, which is very fast and it's very, very scalable. Yeah, when I was working at Amazon, like we were using a lot these DynamoDB tables, and you can imagine if these DynamoDB tables are serving millions of requests for the Amazon website, then you're in a good position with using it in your production application. So yeah, I highly recommend. If you will get more into this DynamoDB, you'll understand that there are some limitations. It's a bit harder to paginate in DynamoDB, but you can work around that and accomplish good results with it. So yeah, that's a little bit about DynamoDB. What's your favorite state management library? Nicholas. So at my startup, I'm using actually Apollo client to manage the state because our backend is a GraphQL API, and we use Apollo to communicate with this API. However, Apollo also serves very well as a global state management. So if you're using GraphQL, I highly recommend Apollo. It's a very good tool. Yeah, it manages a lot of things magically, automatically behind the scenes, and you get a very responsive application. And whenever the data changes in one part of application, it automatically updates everywhere where you query, where you display the data. So yeah, it's a lot of magic there. For simple applications, I would recommend React Context, the Context API, and using the because it's much simpler than Redux or other state management libraries. All right. I love your teaching, Vadim. Keep up the good work. Thank you. All right. Okay, what's happening? All right. Our resources has been created, and what do you don't like? Reload. Let's try to reload our application. Undefined is not an object of a tweet likes. Tweet likes. Tweet likes. What? Tweet likes by tweet. Did I mess up something? Get diff. What did I mess up? Okay, I think I know. Wait a second, let me just check. Come on. Oh, here it is. So yeah, I changed this manually. I don't recommend doing that. I recommend taking this query and making it into a file. But at that time I didn't. Yeah, I didn't have time, and I changed it directly there. And whenever you push, Amplify automatically overrides it. So let's just list tweets. I will do the same again. But if you have time, I suggest taking that query outside. So queries, list tweets. And here in the likes, we need to declare these items because we need to take information about them. And let's delete this. And let's save. And yeah, now it works. Hey, brother, thank you very much for the donation. Thank you a lot. Much appreciated. All right, so now everything is working. We can do Amplify console API, and this will open the AWS console. And here we choose GraphQL, where we can see the our API data, API structures. We can also run queries directly there. So for example, we have a new query here, get fleet. So no, not get fleet. Let's do a list fleets. List fleets. This will return a list of all the fleets, ID, image. Let's run. There is no fleets yet. However, we can create one. So let's, first of all, we will need the user ID to know which user is creating this this fleet. So I think I have only one user in my database, and that's Vadim, and this is his ID. I will copy paste this one, and I'll change to a mutation and press add. For the mutation, I will do create fleet. User ID will be user ID. I don't kind of like this view here. I always enjoy more writing them here. So user ID will be the ID that we copied from myself. Type will be, let's say, text. And text will be hello there from AWS Amplify, like that. Create fleet must have a subfield. Okay, and then we select the ID and the text to make sure that we actually added them correctly. So let's run my mutation. It's there. And if now we run list users, and for each user we will query the fleets of that user, ID, items, yeah, items, ID, type, and text, and image, probably image. Let's run my query. Let's put it here. We'll see that Vadim has some fleets, and it has only one fleet of type text with the text hello there from AWS Amplify. That means that we added correctly the relationship between user and fleets. We can add more, and to be able to see, this is my second fleet. Let's run my mutation, and we can also add, I don't know, image, and image. I'll try to find it somewhere. Avatars, images. Let's copy and let's paste the image here. Save. Let's run the mutation. Text is null because we don't have any text there. If we run my query, we will see here a couple of fleets. I don't see the last one. Oh no, it's here. What happened there? Yeah, it's image, and it has the image there. Yeah, we added manually some data through AWS console. Now let's go ahead and fetch this data in our application in order to display it and not to display the dummy data that we have. So first of all, we will need to go, let's close everything. And we will first have a components, which is the user fleet list indexed. And here we are getting these fleets from our dummy data. So here we will need to fetch them from AWS backend. To do that, let's import API and GraphQL operation from AWS Amplify. Then we need to import a query, and the query you will find in source GraphQL queries, and these are the queries that Amplify automatically generates to make your life a bit easier. However, you can define these queries yourself. For example, if in one page you don't need, for fleets you don't need the user, you will just delete them and query only the things that you need. So yeah, I suggest querying only the things that you need, but when you are lazy, when you are during a live stream, I will use this queries, and I will need list users, and I will want to make sure that fleets, okay, they don't query the fleets. That's why I will take it out like this, and I will do what I suggested you to do. I will take this query outside and edit it myself, but don't try not to edit it inside this file, because this file, as you saw, is getting overridden by AWS Amplify push. Whenever we do that, it's overriding this, so you will lose all the changes and you'll have errors. So I copied this list users query, and I'm gonna go in user fleet list. I'm gonna create a new file named queries.ts, and everything that is here is not overwritten, and we will have access. So for the list users, we don't need tweets. That's what I was saying. Like, in order to display the fleets, we don't need to query the tweets. We don't need to query created and updated it of a user. We need only ID, username, name. We don't need the email. We don't need the email, image, and yeah, fleets. But for the fleets, we need to specify information about the fleet that we want to get. And that one we will find somewhere here, fleet. Let's go, and that's ID, user. I'll copy everything from here, but I will delete the user, because we already have a data about the user. User, we don't need the user. Where does the user end? I think it's here, right? Yep. Yeah, I hope that's how we should do it. So in our index, let's import this query. Import, how is it called? List users from queries. Okay, so yeah, the users with fleets, we will save them into a state variable, because initially there will be no users with fleets, then we will have to query, then we will have to save them somewhere. So we will need a state variable. Set users is equal to use state. Initially it will be an empty array, so these users will be used in our flat list. Can't find variable use state because we didn't import it. Import, let's go. Okay, so now you see there are no user stories there. So whenever we mount this component, and that's we need to fetch the data. So we will put this fetching the data inside a use effect. So let's declare it const fetch data async, because it's asynchronous, and let's call fetch data. Now here put everything into a cache, because there might be some network issues. So whenever you have an error, your application will not crash, because that's not something that depends on you as a programmer. It's something that the user might not have internet or no permissions or something like that. So that's why whenever we do network calls, it's better to put it into a try catch. Const data is equal to await API dot GraphQL, and inside that we put GraphQL GraphQL operation. And which operation? The list users that we just imported, list users. And let's set users to data dot I think data dot get list users, or no, data dot, let's just console log. I wanted to do it without console logging because I thought that I remember the structure of the data, but no, you should always console log to see the structure of the data. Let's save and let's see in our here data.listusers.items. You see? Yeah, data.listusers.items, data dot list users dot items, and yeah, we put that into a set users. Save. All right, so at top we see only one user, and that's because we have only one user in our database with his fleets. So if we will press, it will crash because they have different IDs. We didn't implement yet in that fleet screen fetching from the database. So let's do that right now. Let's delete the dummy data from here because we are done and we implemented fetching dynamically from the database all the information. Hey, thank you for donation. Let me try to pronounce your name. Pushkar. Thank you very much. Let me know if I said that correctly. I really appreciate that. So let's go. Yeah, I'm feeling tired, but I think it's worth it, right, guys? What do you think? So yeah, we need to implement the same fetching in our fleet screen. Where is it? Screens, fleet screen, index. Ho ho ho. I think this could be simplified a lot, but okay. So what we did here, we have our users, and initially they are yeah, they So here we will have probably a null, because in the beginning we don't have any users yet, so we'll need to wait until the users are fetched, and then we will set the user. So the same things go here. The fleet will be null initially. Okay. So let's import the GraphQL API here. And for the fleet screen, yeah, I would actually copy and paste that query here. And you will adjust it as you need here, because for example, I don't know, maybe in this place you need more information or you need less information. Because, oh yeah, for example, in user fleet list, you don't actually need the information about the fleets. You need information only about the users. And yeah, that's something that you can play around with and optimize. Okay, we have our users. So let's declare our use effect with the fetching of the data. Yeah, it's similar. We just copy and put them here to fetch all the data. Set users. And whenever we set users, whenever the users are changed, we will change also the current selected user. So let's do user or use effect. And this use effect will depend on the users. So let's check if users is null. if users is null, or users dot length is equal to 0, then we will return. We don't want to do anything because there are no users. However, if there are users, we need to... Why did I delete that line from here? But I need that one. We need to set users dot find u dot id equal to user id, right? But this argument of type 95 is not assigned to parameter says state action. Yeah, or here or null. Yeah, if it didn't find any user. All right, and then we also need to set the fleet. Okay, let's better. And whenever the user changes, no. Here we're just set fleet index to 0. Initially it will be -1. Let's hope that it will work. I'm not sure. Let's open. And null is not an object, fleet.image. But yeah, but where is it located? User fleet. We should say if there is no fleet, then we will return, I don't know, like a loading indicator, activity indicator. I think activity indicator, because initially there is no fleet and we need to show like a loading screen or something. Oh, you saw loading. So let's open. Null is not an object if fleet is but where? I need answers. I need exactly where. Oh, I'm console logging too much there. Let's go. Okay. Fleet view, fleet screen, index 90. 90 is here. Fleet view. If fleet is equal to null, null is not fleet screen at 122. Fleet screen at scene view. What? Man, where is it? Let me try to comment out some of the use effects, because this one is getting a bit complicated. So this use effect, for example, let's try to comment it out and see what's happening. Yeah, nothing is happening here. Fleet index. All right. And yeah, the error is somewhere here. So I think it's because there is no user. If there is no user, then let's return. Yeah, this is my first fleet. Hello there from AWS Amplify. And the last one should be an image, and it should yeah, it was loading. Yep, it's working. And yeah, and somehow it takes, oh, it takes it from we need to delete these users with fleet because it's taking the next ones from there and only work with users. Users. Yeah, does it work? Let's close. Let's open the first one. This is my second fleet. Hello from AWS. The image. Next. Nothing happens. Back. Hello there. Yep, it works, guys. So yeah, even we see that this one was posted 18 minutes ago, previous one 20 minutes ago, and the first one 19 minutes ago. So that's how we actually take the fleets from AWS and display them in our application. What do you think about that, guys? Are you still here? How are you doing? So let's just git add, git commit fetch fleets from AWS from let's say backend API and git push. Are you still here, guys? How are you doing? All right, so I think I have 3 hours without any stops and without any breaks, and yeah, toilet breaks. So let's drink some more water. Why not? So yeah, we added the fleet model to schema based on what we already have there. We pushed the changes to the cloud. We created some fleets from AWS console, and we also fetch the fleets dynamically from the API. So guys, yeah, I think that we are coming closer to an end with this live stream, and I would like to give you some suggestion where you can take this build and continue, and what you can build extra to practice and to actually learn and grasp the concepts, and to practice makes perfect. So the first thing that I would do, and here I think I will add, because I didn't manage to do that, create fleet screen, and this will be a screen. It's gonna be very similar to, or should we do that? I'm pretty tired, but a screen that will be pretty similar to the create a tweet screen. And here you'll be able to write something. Here you'll be able to pick an image. You know what, guys? Let's do it. Let's do it, and let's do it pretty simple based on this screen, because it's quite similar. So I will sleep better and know that that I explained everything from start to end. Okay, now let's go here. It's probably gonna take like around 10 to 15 minutes, and we're gonna screen where we will upload fleets, and that will support creating a text fleet and also creating a image fleet. Okay, let's go to our screens. New tweet screen. We will copy paste it, and we'll change it to new fleet screen. Let's change everywhere from tweet to fleet. Let's see the imports. Okay, use navigation, permission. Okay, UUID. Okay, instead of create with, we will do a create fleet from mutations, right? Has no export create fleet. Let's see how it's called. Source mutation create fleet. Yeah, there is one. What's happening? New fleet screen. Yeah, now it sees. So new fleet screen. Text. Set text for the text of a fleet. Image URL. Another state for that. We will also need it. Navigation. Some permission to access the camera roll. We will get these permissions whenever we mount the screen. That's good. We have a pick image that will pick the image from the gallery. After that, we upload the image to S3 storage. So for more information about all the technical things that we did here, please check out the previous live stream where we implemented this screen, so you will understand better like how it works. Right now we will just adjust this to work with fleets as well. So I'm not gonna go into a lot of details. So we here upload the image to the storage, which is the S3. And we here have on post fleet. Let image, if image await upload to OK. Try current user. We get the current user, new fleet. The text will be text, which we can skip. Image will be image, and the type will be if image exists, the tweet will be an image, else it will be a text. User ID current user, and then we create fleet, new fleet. Navigation, go back, return on post fleet. Value text set text. Pick an image, URI. Yep, I think that's everything that we need. So let's go into our navigation index and copy the new screen. And the same way here, fleet, new fleet. And let's add that button to create a new fleet. We need to add it. We need to navigate here whenever we press on. Yeah, let's go to our components, into our fleet view, user fleet list. And in this flat list, I think that we can do a list header component. And here we will add just a touchable opacity. Render add button const, and here we will return touchable opacity. On press, we will say we will need navigation to navigate to that screen. import use navigation from native. And here const navigation is equal to use navigation. We take it from there. Navigation. So on press navigation, navigate to the screen new fleet. And here let's just display I don't know, an icon, like a plus icon, and that's it, like as simple as that. I will copy paste some icon, or no, better, let me think. Where do we have that? Icons, bottom tab navigator, profile picture, user image. But where do we get the user? All right, we set it there. Profile picture, user. We take the user from the home navigator. We need to put it in the state here. And this is like the current authenticated user. So to fetch the user, we will use this use effect. So let's try to save. And yep, it's there. The styles are not the perfect one. Size not 40, but hello, 70. Was it 70 or more? Let's add some styles here. Some padding 10. Yeah, let's go with that one. And if we press on it, we go to the new fleet screen. And here we can say this is a fleet from the application. Let's tweet it. Probably instead of tweet, we should say fleet it. And if we close and open again the application, not this one. Let's check if we actually Twitter clone. And let's press on this one. This is my second fleet. This is the fleet from the application. Yes, guys, we did it. Yeah, now you have now you have everything to create, to display the fleets from the application. I would suggest you go and try to implement here the plus sign that you see in where? Not here. Yeah, like here, like a plus sign, like a plus icon to display that you want to add a fleet there. And then you can also adjust the styles of the fleet screen to be something similar to what Twitter is having. But the functionality, you have it, everything is working, you create a fleet, you then are able to see that fleet in the screen. So I think that's really cool. And yeah. So for the improvements that I suggest you continue improving this project is, let's say, adding support for video fleets, because that's really important and crucial for Twitter, but we didn't have time to implement that. However, it's not something very difficult. If you want to know more details about videos and how you can upload them, you can check my previous TikTok clone, where we work a lot with videos. Sorry. We render, we select them, we film them from the camera, we upload, and you will do basically the same here. Catholic. You meant Catalin Pitt? Yeah, he is here. So next one is keeping track of scene fleets. So whenever you see a fleet, you want not to display the same fleet to the same user next time. And that's basically how Twitter and Instagram stories are working. You always see the new tweets. So for that, you will need to probably store in the database a relationship between that fleets and user who's seen that fleets, or you can store that into your phone memory. That depends on your choices. The next one will be to sort the fleets in the preview to display unseen fleets first. That's what I was talking about, because if you saw all the users fleet, you want to move that to the end. Then you will probably also want to integrate automated navigation to the next fleet after I don't know, like 5 seconds. I didn't have time to implement that, but that's really interesting feature. And yeah, go ahead and implement that. And if you share that with me, it would be really interesting. The next feature that you can implement is stopping a fleet progress when you tap on it and you tap and hold, then the progress will not show. And also you can implement animated transition between fleets. So yeah, this is like your homework if you want to test, play, and improve further. If you are interested in these features and you want me to implement that, let me know down below, and I will try to see. Maybe I will do them in future. And yeah, or if you want to see other projects, that's also welcomed. And yeah, suggestions are welcome. I am so tired to talk, and yeah, my brain just freezes. So let's see. Vadim's silver button soon. Yeah, let's hope. Are you going to do that now? No, I'm not going to do that because this stream is already 3.5 hours. And yeah, each stream is longer and longer and longer, and I try to make them as condensed as possible. So, because yeah, I know that a lot of people are struggling with attention span. So it's better to keep them shorter. But maybe in future, if you guys are interested, I can do them. Take a break, buddy. It's been very long. Yeah, 3.5 hours, and I think that's the first stream when I don't take any breaks and not even toilet breaks. Yeah, regarding React Native animation, I didn't work a lot with animations in React Native because I'm not a front-end developer. Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise. Yeah, the front-end at my startup is taken care by my team. I'm mostly with the backend and all the architecture. That's why, yeah. But I know a lot of a lot of guys are doing only content about React Native animations, so you can learn from them. So I'll give them a bit of shout out. And first one is William. Forgot. Yeah, William is doing a lot of React animation tutorials. Yeah. also you can have a look at Catalin. He's also doing nice animations in React Native. And that's from top of my head. Maybe there are more channels on YouTube regarding React Native animations. Oh, thank you very much, Carousel Social Network, for the donation. That's really appreciated. $15, like that's probably the highest donation so far. Thank you very much, and think it's worth that I stayed till the end, 3.5 hours. You made my day. So let's see what other people are saying. Please make React Native and use backend as Python Django. That's gonna be amazing. We'll see. I'm trying to focus on specific projects, on specific technologies at the moment. And that's, as you see, React Native and Amplify. And as far as I would like to go into other technologies that I'm using, like, I don't know, like even like Node.js and other tech like React.js. I'm trying to hold and be laser focused on these technologies until I see some traction, and then I can branch out and do all other stuff. But yeah, in future I will definitely do different technologies, because I'm actually using day by day a lot of technologies that I'm not teaching here on YouTube. So I thought that this combination of React Native and Amplify is the best way to learn and to get started, because you can actually build application that you can use and share with your friends, and you can actually build something and publish on market and start earning money like in a week if you have like an idea and you implement it. Of course, it needs a lot of like, you can build something that you can see, you can show it to your mother in the evening and say like, hey, I built that. So yeah, that's the power of React Native and AWS Amplify. I love them. I'm in my engineering college, Evan Mouse. Good job. I have good hands on state and basic UI, but struggling in animations. Like follow what other resources, other YouTube channels are doing on animations. I think that they are probably better than, because it's something interesting for me as well. I'm not sure if I have that patience for design and like that find. I like to move and to see progress faster and with more like data and backend stuff, but I'll try. Can you also make an app with payment integration? That's a very nice idea. We might do that. So yeah, we are now in the question and answers. So I will stay probably a couple of minutes and to answer your questions, guys. Following William and Kathleen along with you. Good job. You are lagging. Yeah, I see that my network is not the best, so sorry for that, guys. Is that Amazon Amplify free? So let's put it that way. To start, they offer you a free tier. So everything that I was doing so far, I have built already 4 or 5 projects on Amplify for live streams, and I haven't been charged anything. But if you, of course, publish this application, you start getting like millions of users to that application, you will, of course, get charged. So for more information, you can find all the pricing of that. But you are safe if you are using it just for learning and testing, because you have a free tier. You're god of React Native. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Always learning. I wouldn't think that I'm a god, but learning and getting there. I'm going to start your TikTok clone form tomorrow. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy it and get good results, because I don't know if you were here before, but one of my subscribers said that he landed a project of almost $1,000 because of my Spotify clone, if I'm not mistaken. So he put that into his portfolio, and one of his like one client was impressed by that, and yeah, he landed that client and signed the contract. So that can help. Are you interested in coding in tech like OCR, face detection, and other similar stuff? I worked when I was working in one company. I work with more like graphical, visual, OCR. I don't know, like face detections, smile detections. We were doing like interesting installations, like interactive installation. For example, you're coming to a stand, and the more you smile, the more points you get, and that yeah, some gamifications, like this kind of gamifications. But at the moment in time, I'm not doing a lot of that. Can you show how to publish the application to the respective stores, please? I should do that. Yeah, definitely. I should do that because that's a very important part of building application, is just to put them out there, because you don't have to wait like 2 years and until you get a perfect application. It's better to make something that works but is not perfect, publish it, and you'll receive feedback from your users, and then you'll be able to improve on that. So I will have to do the deploying video. So yeah, like a couple of more questions, guys, and I should go because I hear all my family in my house like laughing, and I don't want to miss out on that because they're at the dinner. Do you have resources you can share for people getting started with React Native? Resources to share. Probably I should be more prepared for this question in order to give you an informed answer, because it was a long time when I started learning React Native, and I don't remember what I was using back then, because right now I mostly use the React Native official documentation for everything that I need. And but yeah, for the beginner friendly, yeah, I will do that. You can ask me on Discord, and I'll do some research for you. What is the best? Use backend as Node.js, Django.net, like backend API or Amazon Amplify? Well, yeah, it depends on a lot of things. And for example, if we're speaking about like a Node.js backend versus an Amazon Amplify, with Node.js you have more control, but at the same time when you have more control, you have to work more. So, for example, in AWS Amplify, the thing that I wrote manually for my API was, let's see, where is it? Amplify backend API schema. How many? 38 lines of code. 38 lines of code for my API, guys. At my startup, I have, I don't know, hundreds and thousands of lines of code that I had to write. However, if we look here at the schema, this is just the schema, guys, and the schema has, let me try to scroll. The schema has 400 lines, almost 400 lines, and that's everything that Amplify generated automatically for me. And this is only the schema. It's nothing about resolvers or how they handle like the data and all the logic behind it. So on one hand, you get very easy. You get started very easy, and I would recommend this for any project that you are testing. For example, you have an idea, and before going all in and spending like 1 year building that idea with the perfect Node.js server, scalable, and the perfect architecture and the most optimal, and then after 1 year you publish that application and you find out that nobody wants it, that would be painful. On the other hand, you go with a simple solution like with Amplify. You code something, very functional, very secure, also very scalable, probably less, you have less control over it in some way, because you might get some roadblocks that you cannot accomplish here, but you have more freedom to and flexibility to accomplish with a notjust. However, in like 2 weeks, you can have an application up and running and you can test it with your users. And if it works, you either improve on it or you, like, I don't know, hire developers and accomplish what you set in your mind. Okay, guys, so yeah, a lot of questions, guys. Thank you very much. You don't want me to go eat with my family, right? Right? Can you show? Okay, where I was. Your channel need more subscriptions. You're doing amazing job. Thank you very much. But yeah, it's step by step, and if the quality is actually good, I think with time everything will happen. Have you ever built an app with multiplayer matchmaking algorithm? Multiplayer matchmaking, multiplayer. My brain doesn't work right now. Probably not, or I don't understand exactly what you mean. If you can explain, maybe I build something. I'm struggling in making model like Instagram. Got one of the library, but has lots of bugs. Can you do that? Model? Like a model like Instagram. What Instagram is using models for? Guys, I would suggest let's follow up all these questions on the Discord. And if you didn't join the Discord, please consider doing that now. And let's follow the discussion there. And I will go. I'll go right now with my family and eat. So guys, thank you very much for joining and for staying till the end, and thank you for your interest in everything that I'm doing. I really have a lot of fun in doing this, and more fun when I see that people are appreciating my work, and when you find value out of it and you actually do this. You learn new technologies, you land new clients. Yes, today one of a subscriber landed a client of almost $1,000. So that's really insane, and that really makes me going. So thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what I should do in the next week live stream, because we are doing this live stream every week on Fridays. Would you like me to continue with Twitter fleets? Would you like me to continue other clones that I already built? Or you want a completely new project that I will start from the beginning? I always like starting new projects, so yeah, maybe we will start something interesting next week. We'll see. But today, yeah, thank you very much. The link of the Discord and all the link are in the descriptions. The link of the repository you can find also in the description.